Good evening, guys. So today we are going to discuss for loop. So for one of the interview, there are something called for loop. How does this syntax? What is this for loop? Okay, if you see, before going ahead with this, session, you should know bit and pieces of programming language. If you don't know, also it's fine. Okay, just this is for the grooming. So I'm using something called a programming language called Java. In that we have many Java types. In that one of the Java type, I'm taking something called class. So class is a keyword, and I'm going to take the class name and open and close. So this is a template where we have to write the program. So within this template itself, we have to write all the programs of Java. So I just take something called main method, public static void main, and I'm just going to write something called args. Okay. So this is how the template looked like. Okay, you have to write all the program within this. So this is a video. I'm assuming that the audience doesn't know anything about any programming language. Just it's logical building where I'm teaching you only the logics. Okay. So I have a print statement here that is nothing but system.out.println. So this is what we have the print statement in Java. So anything in double quotes, if you quote, so it's going to print it as it is. So here if you see, this is a template, and this complete line is called class declaration. Okay, we call it as class declaration, and this line we call it as main method declaration. This is all about, and this is the print statement in Java. This is a syntax. So I just tell it as print statement. So before starting with the grooming for you, I'm just starting with what is the template of how to write a simple program. How to execute, how to run is that will be taught in your Java sessions. So just I want to just groom you for logical thinking for one of the interviews, which is asked in almost all the interviews they ask these questions for many companies. Okay, so if you see this hello is going to get printed. Let us see one example with this. So I'm going to take the same template here. So if you see here, this is the same template which we have here. So if you see here, I'm going to write a print statement here that is nothing but system.out.println hello, and I save it and I run. So I get the output as hello. Can you see here? So that's great. So if I want to print one more, then what should I do? I should just copy and again I put it across. So if I put this 5 times, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So if I run this program, it's going to print. Okay, if you see here, it's going to print 5 times hello. So this is how it goes. Means if I want 100 times, then it will be a tedious job for me where I have to write this for 100 times. So in order to overcome this, we go for something called for loop. Okay. So what is the syntax for this for loop? Okay, how does it look? The syntax goes like this. That is next. I'm going to give a body for that. So this is a syntax. So mandatorily you should have two semicolons here. Okay. So here we are going to write something called initialization. We are going to write something called initialization. Next, we have something called here condition. Next, we have here something called increment or decrement. Okay. So whatever statements you write here, that's going to get executed. So initialization. If we see this example, we started with the counting as 1, later as okay, something as 2, later as 3, and later as this is how we count usually how many times it is printed if you want to count. So if you see the number starts from 1 and goes till 5 means the 5 times I'm printing print statements. In order to print this 5 times, I go for something called for loop initialization, where I'm going to give this. You have to start it from 1 and give a condition where it should be less than or equal to 5, and every time it has to increment, means the 1 should become 2, 3, 4. Okay, I have to keep on checking. Okay, and increment here. I have to increment. I use something called I plus plus. So initially, I'm going to take int I equals to later, I just tell that I should go keep on incrementing till it reaches what 5. So this is a condition, and this is called initialization, and this is called increment. So before going ahead, so let's understand what do you mean by I plus plus. Let us take an example where I plus plus. So let me take something called, okay. So if I value is equal to one, okay, if I okay, so if I equals to one, so if the I value I'm taking it as one, I equals to one, and if I tell something called I plus plus, what happened to this? So what do you mean by I plus plus? I plus plus means, what does it mean is I equal to I plus 1. Means the I value, whatever it is there, it will be incremented by 1. How does it happen? So if you see here, so we all know that I value is 1. So if you tell 1 plus 1, so what does I plus plus do? I plus plus means I plus 1. So currently I value is 1. Currently I value is what? 1. I'm going to use that I value. Okay, I'm going to use that I value, that is 1, and this value along with this value, that is current value, plus 1 I'm going to add, where the I is going to become, I guess we can easily understand that what's all happening here is it's going to increment the I value, which was 1, now to 2. So again if I do the same, again if I do the same, that is nothing but I equals to I plus 1. Now, can you just guess what is I value currently? So can you see there, I value is 2. I value is 2 plus 1. Now what it's going to be, I value is going to be, means this value of I is going to change now, whatever it was 2, the 2 plus 1, now it's going to become something called 3. So the I value will be 3. So this is how the increment I plus plus works. Okay, so I guess hope we are doing good with I plus plus. What does I plus plus means? Increment I value by 1. So we have something called here, that is initialization. Repeat, initialization. I want you to repeat initialization. We do have something called condition. Yeah, repeat along with me. Condition. Yes. And then we have something called increment. Means the I value I want it to increment. So always the Java program will execute from left to right. I made you clear with the syntax and what is what. Okay, and this is called initialization, this is called condition, and this is called increment. You can also do something called as I minus minus. It works the same way, where it's going to decrement the value by 1. So I plus plus increments the I value by 1. So this is how it goes. Now let's understand more clearly of a couple of examples with respect to this. Now let me write the program for, I take something called int I is equal to 1, and I just tell I less than or equal to 5, and next I plus plus. And I write something here, the print statement system.out.println hello. Now if you see here, initially I value is 1, it goes till 5, and I increment the value by 1 every time. So if you see this, how this logic works, let us trace it on the screen here. Okay, place it over and I'll explain you how the tracing happens. Now if you see here, let me make it a little bit bold. Yeah, that's great. Now initially, can you just tell me what is the I value? Initially it is 1. I value is initially 1. Now it checks the condition. Okay, this is 1, and it checks the condition. Is it 1 less than or equal to 5? Is the condition is true? If the condition is true, then the output will be, it will print hello one time. Okay. Again, if this, again it checks I plus plus. Now when it tells I plus plus, I value, whatever the I value is there, whatever the I value is there, that I value will get incremented by 2. Now again it checks the condition here. Again it checks the what? Condition. So can you tell me what is the I value there? It is 2. Now it checks, is it 2 less than or equal to 5? Okay, is the true value, is it a 2 less than or equal to 5? Condition is true. Now again what it prints, it again prints something called as what? Hello. For the second time again it prints something called hello. Now it printed how many times hello? 2 times. Again what happens, it's going to happen something like it's going to be I plus plus. So when I tell I plus plus, I is going to get incremented by 1 and it's going to become 3. Now again checks the condition, is it 3 less than or equal to 5? Is condition true? Yes, because 3 is less than or equal to 5. Now you got the paste there. Now again it's going to print something called as what? Hello. Now if you see how many times hello is printed? 3 times. Again I plus plus. Now I is going to become something called as what? 4. Now again it checks the condition there. That is 4, 4 is it less than? Okay, 4 is it less than or equal to 5? Is it 4 less than or equal to 5? Its condition will be what? True. Okay, so let me take that. That is 4 is less than or equal to 5. Condition is true. Now again it prints something called as what? Hello, 4 times. Now every time if the condition is true, it prints hello. Now again I plus plus. Now I value will get incremented to 5. 4 it was, it became 5. Now it checks here. That is, is it 5? Is it 5 less than? Here, can you see that? Is it 5 less than or equal to 5? Condition is what? True. If it is true, then again it prints something called as hello. Now, how many times it is printing hello? 5 times. So this is how the for loop runs. Means if you clearly see here, if I mention here as 50, okay, instead of 5, if I mention 50, it starts from 1 and it goes till 50. And every time 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 till 50 it will be keep on implementing. So this whatever the block of statement which is mentioned, so it's going to get executed for 50 times. So this is how the for loop works. So let us see the same program. So I'm going to, instead of doing this 5 times, I just remove this. Okay, I'll repeat again. So initially I value is 1. Now it checks the condition here. So the condition is going to be 1 less than or equal to 5. Condition is true, prints hello. Again I plus plus means I value will become what? 2. Is it 2 less than or equal to 5? Again second time it prints hello. Again it's going to be 3 less than or equal to 5. Condition is true, now prints hello. Again is it 4 less than or equal to 5? Condition is true, again it prints hello. Now again is it 5 less than or equal to 5? Yes, condition is true because it is equal, hence it prints a hello. Now if you see here, is it 6 less than or equal to 5? No, the condition fails. Once the condition fails, this for loop terminates. So this is how the for loop works. So now if I run this program, I'll just save and I'll run this. So I'm going to get hello how many times? 5 times. Now if I put a semicolon here, what will happen? What will happen? Means this for loop is being terminated here. The for loop is what? Terminated. Now let's see what's the output there. So the output is going to be one time hello. Means this for loop is not being applicable for this block because it is being terminated by using a semicolon. So in Java, we use semicolon for terminating. Okay. If you don't use this block, even though if you don't use block, this is a single statement and this is a single statement. There is no connection between this for loop and this block. Now, can you guess what is the output for this program? So if you see here, since the for loop is not connected to this, this is going to be a normal statement as simple as like this. Got it? Now if you run this, I get single time hello. In the same way, even though if I have a for loop, this if you use it a semicolon, the for loop gets terminated. Okay. So, interview question which will be asked in this way. So what is the output of this program? Can you guess? Yes, it's right. It's going to be one time hello. Now let us see this. Is it a mandatory? Okay, let me remove this semicolon and I keep the original code. I'll come back to this original code. Now what is the output of this? So it's going to start from 1 and goes till 5 and it's going to be I plus plus and it's going to print hello 5 times. That's great. Now if can I take this declaration, okay, that is only the declaration, okay. So let me remove this declaration, let me remove this condition, let me remove this okay, increment or decrement. Will the program run? Yeah, the question is for you. Will it run? Oh, it's not. It's going to run, but it's going to run for infinite. You can see the program is going infinite and the terminating okay terminator button is still visible. So I have to terminate, then only it gets terminated. Means it went. Okay, you can see in the screen right side. It went for infinite. So if you don't give any initialization or condition or increment or decrement, then the loop is going to go for infinite. Okay, I'll repeat that. If you're not giving any initialization or condition or increment or decrement, then the loop, whatever block of statements you have written, it's going to run for infinite. Great. One second, let me check the recording is happening.